Hello guys, welcome to a new video on Tower of God new board. And in this video, I'm going to go over the revolution buffs that were implemented in this update. I'm going to go over the 4 units one by one, and I'm going to give you my opinion on whether the buffs they received were good enough or not. I'm going to start with the first one we have here on the list, so Asensio. And we're going to look first at what changed, and then I'm going to give you my opinion on that. I will say first that the rankings you see here on the spreadsheet have not been changed yet. I will definitely further analyze whether it makes sense to upgrade some of them or not. I will give you my opinions now on this video, but I will definitely wait to make the changes until I also finalize the rankings for Hugo, David, and some other units. So before then, no changes to the spreadsheet, but I will already give you my thoughts in this video. So for Asensio, we have the Revolution 4 that previously was just, okay, wait, this is the special move. This is the Revolution 4. So this guy previously just had the 2-second invincibility when using Molino de Viento. Now that remained on all the buffs that they released so far. They always kept the previous buff and they just added additional stuff on top. And in this case, what's been added is a physical pierce increase by 40% for 10 seconds. It is okay. I don't think it's really that great of a buff for him. It is still acceptable. It's going to increase his damage a tiny little bit. I don't think it's enough to make him a relevant sub DPS. He can still dish out some okay damage, but that's not the main part. We don't really care too much about that. It's not really going to have an impact in the long run. So it's going to be whatever. So to me, this upgrade is not that great. Now for the Revolution 5, this is a lot more interesting because previously it just had a 2% attack increase every time the flying fish lands an attack on an enemy. Now it's been increased to 4%, same number of stacks, so the total went up from 200% attack to 400% attack. It's not bad. Unfortunately, it can be removed, so if you're facing a unit with buff removals, you're screwed. You're never going to get the 400% attack increase. But in all other scenarios, this is a pretty sizable buff. But the most important part is this first line here that was not present before, and that is Asensio becomes invincible while using the special move. And this is really important because the special move was one of the few windows that he could actually take damage. So having this invincibility really improved his durability by a shit ton. Now he can reliably survive in most scenarios. You just need to give him a bit of energy in some cases, but he will reliably stay alive most of the times. You might have to give him a Bari even though it is not a good set on him, just so that he can get to the point where he actually uses the special move. And with that in mind, I might make some changes to the ignition weapon recommendation, because now we have magic resistance and physical pierce. I think you can go easily full damage on this guy now. You just have to run a Bari. Then you have to go with effect resistance slot 4, and you can afford to keep physical pierce in slot 5. You could potentially make this guy deal a really reasonable amount of damage without impacting his durability. But for that, you need Bari, otherwise he's not going to get to the point where he casts the special move. Overall, I think it's a nice buff. Maybe it will be enough to bring him up to S, but I doubt it. I will have to see which other units I placed in S, and also which other units we have in the yellow element before I can actually make the change. Definitely improved compared to before, so maybe now is A plus arrow up. And for the above 300 deficit, there is not going to be a decrease anymore because its durability now is basically the same. I will do some more tests using this Bari setup that I just mentioned, and I will let you know. But definitely there is a lot more potential. The issue with Asensio is one, even if he stays alive, what is he going to provide to the team? Basically nothing. Suboptimal damage, let's say, which is going to get worse and worse the higher your deficit, and then it just has a physical resistance decrease. That's all it provides. Okay, no, to be fair, he also has a projectile block with the Molino de Viento skill, so that's definitely good, let's say, this projectile block. But is it enough to make him worthwhile? I don't think so. Like, if you have him maxed, probably you can now use him. But if you don't, it is not a unit you should be pulling for anyway. That's my opinion for now. Again, I will try more with the other setup I just mentioned. And if it works a lot better and is actually worth playing, I will let you know, but I kind of doubt it. So yeah, I would say that's more or less all for this guy. We can move on to the next unit, which is a really unexpected buff from my point of view, and that is Edahn. So Edahn really didn't need a buff. It was already one of the top DPS in the game. Now it just got like insane value. Is just a fucking monster. I have no idea what went through their minds when they planned this sort of buff. But whatever. Let's have a look at the Revolution 4, this improvement on the Lightning Strike active skill. Before, he only had the invincibility while teleporting. Pretty good. It helped a lot with survivability. And also, just in case, if you were running an L set, not to interrupt your 4-piece effect. So overall, nice, but it wasn't anything special. Now it is stealing 400 energy from the target. This is absolutely insane. Removing from the highest attack enemy 400 energy is really good value. And on top of that, you're also gaining this energy back for him. And this is going to be insane because obviously his special move is where all of his damage is coming from. So really, really important. So this upgrade, absolutely great. Now, for the special move upgrade, this is even crazier. This is just insanity. Before, all it did was just the enemy hit by the special move had their magic resistance decreased by 80% for 10 seconds. That's all it did. Now, on top of that, every time you use the special move, you get a 25% accuracy increase for those 10 seconds. And these stacks for this accuracy buff can get up to 4, which is double your base accuracy. Really insane. You are never going to miss a special move ever. But on top of that, once he hits an enemy, he's also going to leave a spear stuck to the ground for 3 seconds. And in these 3 seconds, he's going to deal AoE damage. Every enemy you hit is going to have their energy stealed or stolen, whatever, by 100. This is AoE. If you have a little bit of grouping, this is 500 energy a second for 3 seconds. So not only you're going to delay the energy regen on the enemies, you're also going to be able to spam your special move like non-stop. Because okay, you're getting up to 1500 energy in 3 seconds, but after 1000 energy, you're going to cast this one again, which means even more energy. So before, you kind of wanted to use him with Mama Nak, either linked to him or to Anniversary Iwa. But now you can easily remove Mama Nak, you just need grouping, and this guy can spam his special move no problem. So what can we say? An absolutely amazing buff, and this guy is definitely going in the irregular tier. No questions asked. Definitely deserved. Really, really good value. Opens up more team comps, so really, really good. And yeah, not much else to say about Edahn. He didn't need it, but he still got it, so really good. Now for the next unit, we have Data Urek. This guy is probably the worst SSR plus unit we have in the game, or one of. No, I think the worst. And will these buffs be enough to make him actually a useful unit? To me, the short answer is no, but we're going to see what they actually changed. For Revolution 4, we have the improvement on the special move. Before, it was just an 80% attack decrease on the enemy with the arrow sign. Okay, now has been increased to 90%. Does it matter? No, I don't think so. Then we have another part here. The damage, like the size of the barrier that you're going to get, is based on the damage that you dealt to the enemies. And in this case, you're going to get also a 600% defense as additional barrier. Is that good enough? No, I don't think so. This is going to be worse if you're facing it hard, and kind of okay-ish / irrelevant in all other scenarios. But on top of that, when the barrier is destroyed, a new barrier with 50% of the previous durability is going to be created for 10 seconds. And that Mazino is going to recover 30% of his max HP. Now, is this good? Kind of, but at the same time, also dangerous. If you are facing it hard, this is definitely dangerous. If you are facing a Chomray, it's dangerous for your team. So you're going to kill your team. He's not going to die because he recovers HP in the meantime. So he shouldn't die from Chomray's damage. So this is not a problem for a normal adventure, but it could be for other game modes or for PvP. So I think this doesn't make a lot of sense. Survivability-wise, nothing is really going to change. The barrier is still too small to make a difference. So to me, it's just basically worthless. It's going to be a buff for the enemy that will work in hard mode. Unless you use Tomray, in that case, you just wipe out his own team. Then what do we have? We have the improvement on Revolution 5. So for this one, before it only gave a 0.5 second decrease on the cooldown for unstable skill, so the same as the base effect from the passive, and that's it. Now it's being brought up to 1.5 second additional, so 2 seconds in total. And I would say this is entirely irrelevant because you cannot cast this skill again as long as you have the physical resistance increase. So even if you take it to 0, it doesn't matter. You still have to wait those 10 seconds. So I don't know, kind of worthless. Could be helpful if you're removing the buff. So if you are like facing an enemy with buff removals, you're going to lose this one, but then the cooldown is going to be reset and you're going to cast it again. That's kind of the idea, but again, kind of a niche use case and not really that great anyway. But every time you take physical damage, now you're also going to regenerate 100 energy. So every 10 hits from physical damage, you will cast your special move. This is overall pretty nice, but I will say for me, at least for what I tried, this guy doesn't last 10 hits in any case. So he's still going to explode in 1 or 2 hits. And my deficit is not that high. It's only 300. So to me, the buffs he got are really weak. But let's see what the other part of the passive is. And this is a really massive buff on paper. And he's going to get a 300 defense increase at the start of the battle immediately. And then the activation time of this interval he has here in the passive is going to be decreased by 8 seconds. So from 10 seconds to 2 seconds. Pretty good. This will take his defense to very high heights. And it also makes the defense increase from the passive unremovable. So that's really good. The issue is he's still dying way too quickly. I don't know how it is possible with this kind of increase. To me, it makes no sense. And I only tried him with Alokazi so far. I didn't give him a Bari. I don't think Bari would make that big of a difference because it doesn't really have any insane scaling that will make him survive longer if he can get to cast, I don't know, the special move or something. Maybe for the special move it gets the barrier, so it could be some sort of improvement to survivability. I will give it a shot and I will let you know. But even then, I don't really think relying only on barrier for survivability is really that good. But we'll see. We'll see. I will definitely try that. But for my testing with the usual Alocasia set, it just exploded immediately. So to me, still not worth it. And let's say it can survive, it doesn't provide anything useful to the team. He has a 20% physical resistance decrease on a target, and that target also has a 90% attack decrease. That's all it does. So to me, kind of lacking. Okay, gives a barrier, but barriers, especially like his barrier that doesn't really feel like a big barrier, is just whatever, guys. I don't know. I don't think data work buffs are really that great. I have to say my investment on him is not that high. I only have this defense increase node. Everything else have not been touched. Okay, I also have the effect resistance, but attack is not touched. I don't have special move resistance. I don't have crit hit resistance. I don't have attack. I don't have evasion. So Yeah, I only upgraded the defense to do the test after this improvement here, because this 120% applies before the effect from the passive, so it's kind of a multiplier on top. And I thought, okay, now this guy has to survive. Unfortunately, not really. And this is only 300 deficit, guys, so I'm not expecting much from him. I will try the Bari version and let you know, but I really have low expectations. So to me, this is still a fail. I don't even think I will bump him up to A in any way. I will probably not even give him more than C at more than 300 deficit. It just dies too quickly. Again, I will try Bari and maybe I will change my mind, but for now, no way. Now, the next and last unit is Karaka. Karaka was already useful, similarly to Edahn, and now he also got a buff, and I would say a pretty acceptable one. It's not bad. Now definitely got more utility. I don't think this is going to change his rank. It will probably stay S. Maybe I will give him an arrow up that he doesn't have at the moment, but it's definitely not going to go to S+. Still, let's have a look at what they changed. So for the Revolution 4, previously was just the grouping, and I'm saying just, but that was most of these utility. So after firing the Rain of Darkness, he's going to pull all nearby enemies close by. So really good grouping. Now, on top of that, the enemies provoked by Rain of Darkness are going to have their purple element resistance decreased by 60% for 15 seconds. A really good debuff. If you're using a purple DPS, this is definitely a nice plus, but it could be difficult to like replace an Anna Reflejo combo or an Anna Varagar Reflejo, whatever. So maybe you don't have space for a Karaka, but definitely there is potential here. So this is something that could be good, maybe also for the future or the upcoming Heljo. It should be purple again, so we'll see. So definitely a nice addition. Is the second unit that has this kind of debuff. The other one is Verdi, but Verdi has a single target, if I remember correctly, or a very small AoE, I don't remember, effect, and probably is also only 50%. This one is a 60% on a pretty big AoE, so definitely really nice. And is also going to have a damage taken decreased by 90% while creating the Dark Orb. So overall, nice durability boost, nice debuff. So this is a nice upgrade. Then we have the Evolution 5. This applies an effect while not using the active skill. So it's going to have a passive defense increase by 300% that cannot be removed by buff removal skills. This feels better than what I experienced with Data Work. Could be because for this guy, I gave him the Barry set, so he could still get to the special move, and then with all these provokes and stuff, he basically never died. So could be that I'm feeling it more thanks to Barry, but I don't know. So again, I will definitely try Barry and that will work as well. But yeah, definitely this one seems reasonable and pretty good. He's also going to remove all debuffs on himself when using the active skill, and the healing 20% HP per second was already there, so that's really solid as well. I would say, in general, nothing major, which is why I said I'm not really going to increase his rank from S, but definitely something that can make him more worthwhile and good to have. I still wouldn't pull for him before all the other super important SSR plus units, but it definitely gained some value from this buff, I would say. So yeah, that's pretty much my overview of the 4 units that received the Revolution buff. Let me know in the comments how you feel about these changes, if you think I maybe undervalued some improvements, or if I don't know. Let me know your feedbacks on these changes. And yeah, I would say that's all for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!